In the darkest days of World War II, when hope flickered like a dying candle, Britain prepared one of the most audacious deceptions ever conceived. It would involve a man who never lived, a death that never happened, and a lie so perfect it would alter the fate of millions. The year was 1943. The Allies knew they had to invade Europe. But where? Southern Europe was fortified. Hitler suspected Sicily would be the natural choice for an Allied landing. If the Allies attacked there, they would face brutal resistance. They needed to trick Hitler into looking elsewhere. Thus, Operation Mincemeat was born. The plan: create a false identity, use a corpse, deliver fake documents to the Germans, and make them believe the attack would come somewhere far from Sicily. It was insane, it was desperate, and it worked. First, they needed a body. British intelligence found Glyndwr Michael, a homeless man who had died alone from rat poison and exposure. No family, no connections, perfect. They transformed him into Major William Martin of the Royal Marines. New clothes were tailored, a detailed backstory was invented. They filled his pockets with every detail a man would carry. A photo of a fiancée named Pam, theater tickets from London, bank receipts, a stern letter from his father. It had to feel real. Then came the most important piece: a locked briefcase, chained to his wrist, containing top-secret documents suggesting the Allies would invade Greece, not Sicily. On a cold April morning, a British submarine surfaced off the coast of neutral Spain. They released the body into the waves. The tide carried Major Martin to the shore, just as planned. Spanish authorities, sympathetic to Germany, retrieved the body and the documents. Within days, the papers were in Berlin. Hitler himself reviewed them, and he believed. Orders were given, massive troop movements to Greece and Sardinia. Sicily's defenses were thinned. When the real invasion began, Operation Husky, the Allies encountered far less resistance than anticipated. They captured Sicily quickly and with fewer casualties than anyone had dreamed. Historians agree. Operation Mincemeat shortened the war, saved tens of thousands of lives, and broke Hitler's grip on southern Europe. But success came with a price. The secret of Operation Mincemeat had to be buried deep. The British government kept the truth classified for decades. The public mourned Major William Martin as a real war hero. Even his gravestone in Huelva, Spain, honored him. William Martin, born 1907, died 1943, serving his country. But there was no William Martin. There never was. Behind the scenes, a handful of intelligence officers, men like Ewan Montagu and Charles Cholmondeley, knew the truth. They celebrated quietly, knowing the dead man in the ocean had saved the living on the battlefield. In 1953, Montagu released a heavily sanitized book, The Man Who Never Was, hinting at the operation without revealing its darkest secrets. The real story wouldn't emerge until much later. Only in the 1990s did British intelligence admit the truth. The body was that of Glyndwr Michael, a forgotten soul who had no idea he would become one of history's most important pawns. Glyndwr had been a drifter, an invisible man, but in death, he played a role larger than kings and generals. He fooled Hitler. He helped liberate Europe. He became a ghost woven into the very fabric of victory. Even today, at his grave in Spain, flowers still appear, placed not by family, but by those who know, by soldiers, by spies, by strangers who understand what was bought with one nameless life. And so the question lingers, was Glyndwr Michael used, exploited? Or did he, in the end, become something greater than he could have ever imagined? Maybe, in giving up his forgotten life, he found a purpose that few living souls ever achieve: to save the world. Maybe that's why the grave still matters, why the flowers keep coming, why the story refuses to die. Because even now, when the world feels cold and cynical, the tale of the man who never existed reminds us. Even a forgotten life can cast a shadow so long, so deep, that it shapes the destiny of nations. It reminds us that sometimes the best lies are the ones told for the right reasons, and that sometimes those who never had a voice in life speak the loudest in death.